Hey friend, look what came in the mail yesterday. The Fujifilm XT3. I have a flight that leaves in an hour and a half. I don't want to miss it. I still need to pack some, but I wanted to quickly shoot this video before I leave on my trip so I can tell you some of my initial thoughts with this system and share some of the footage that I just shot with this setup. So this was announced not too long ago, and honestly, I wasn't even sure if I should be excited for it. I know Fujifilm mainly for their photography. They've kind of got a legendary background there. I actually have spent considerable amounts of time trying to make my digital photos look like it was shot with Fujifilm film stock. And so that's kind of what I most know them for. And I know they kind of have a cult following in that area where people who use Fujifilm really love the color science, really love the bodies. So when this bad boy was announced, I was curious about if I should check it out for video stuff. And the main feature that stands out to me for that is the fact that it's 4K 60 frames per second. I'm still holding out for a 4K 60 frames per second, full frame, image stabilized beast that could preferably shoot like 180 frames in 1080p as well. But that's kind of like my dream camera that hasn't been made by anyone yet. And in the meantime, there's been a lot of things being announced, some stuff which I just don't really care to try out. But again, that 4K 60 is kind of a big box to be checked for me if I'm gonna use a camera for video, because I do adventure films. I wanna be able to slow stuff down, especially in 4K. And so when I found out that this guy was an APS-C sensor, doesn't have the internal image stabilization, but has a really clean image in 4K at 60 frames per second, I was like, hey, that's kind of interesting. In Fujifilm Canada, I think they found my YouTube videos and they asked if I wanted to demo one for a couple weeks. And I said yes, but I want to try out the 18 to 55 cinema lens as well. And honestly, this whole setup is a little bit smaller than I kind of anticipated it to be. Like I honestly thought this lens would be a lot bigger, but it's really similar to like the Canon 70 to 200. But anyhow, I've got this setup. I shot some footage with it today. Initially, I'm impressed so far. The image looks great. I've been using the Ninja 5 monitor with it. I'll touch on that in a moment. But yeah, I think I'll probably do a review of some kind on this system. I just wanted to share some of the initial footage that I've been capturing with it. If you're a Fujifilm person, share some of your favorite tips and tricks down below. So far, I'm impressed with the body. I like the vintage look. It's got a great feel to it. It's been pretty straightforward for me to learn how to use. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Funny enough, I actually almost won the older brother to this cinema lens in a contest I entered almost a year and a half ago from Shotover. I almost won a Red Epic, a 20 to 120, and the Shotover F1? No, G1. Yeah, so I actually almost won the older brother to that lens, which is considerably more expensive. But basically, this is like the mirrorless, smaller camera version of these larger cinema zoom lenses that has some unique features that are kind of critical for the way we shoot video. So I'm excited to be testing this setup. I'll share more results with you as we go. But along with that, something that I have been testing, something I'm very excited about, is this Ninja 5 from Atomos. So when I went down to NAB, I got to see this for the first time and I was very excited because I really like the Ninja Inferno from Atomos, but honestly, it's a little bit big for my kind of style of outdoor shooting. So when I found out they could do very similar things, but in a smaller form factor, I was pretty hyped. And Atomos noticed my excitement and they liked my work. And so they actually sent me an early unit to try out and they wanted to make a video of me making a video. And I'm pretty pumped about this because I think the project worked out pretty good. That video should be out by next Friday, a video of me going out and making an adventure film and just kind of talking through what I appreciate about the small monitor recorder from Atomos. I've got to go pack for my trip. I want to tell you about a cool opportunity that I want to invite you in on, but we've got to go here, so I'll pick up in the car. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to be hopping on a flight to Montreal, Quebec. If you don't know the geography of the Canadas, that is much far away from where we are here on the left coast. And the reason why I'm going there is because Mia, an athlete that I've been following in the Slack Life series, you should check out episode 1 to 4. I'm really happy with them. She is going to be going there to be doing a world record attempt at a 1.9 kilometer high line. I booked flights and we're just gonna make it happen. And I was kind of brainstorming ways to offset the investment of this. And I know a lot of you have said before, hey, why don't you start a Patreon? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I'm not starting a Patreon right now, but I wanted to share with you a way that you could get involved with helping make this episode happen as a special partner just for this episode. So I've got a link in the description down below to Adventure Film Academy, and I'm gonna be doing a webinar on my storytelling. Let's take it right here. You'll find more info about all of this in the description down below. But basically, I'm going to be doing a storytelling webinar at the end of September, and it's kind of a special webinar where I'm actually inviting you to be a partner in making this Slack Life episode happen, where if you purchase this webinar and you want to be a part of making it happen, you'll get your name in the credits as a partnering supporter, which is super rad. So if you want to help make this episode happen, I'm opening up individual sponsor spots from people like you, and as kind of a thank you and a part of this, you're getting your name in the credits. And also I'm going to do a storytelling webinar at the end of September. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've kind of done stuff like this before, but we're merging and bringing them back together in a certain way. We're going to take a left right here. This is very much a project of passion for me, where I've invested so much of my own time and money into this already. But I know there's a lot of you out there who want to know more about how I develop and share the stories I do. And I thought this was kind of a cool way to light a little bit of a fire underneath me to make the webinar happen, and also invite you to play a key part in actually making this happen. I've got to eat my dinner now. I'm going to leave on this trip. Notes are in the description down below. I'll catch you in the next videos. And remember, life's better when you make stuff. Peace.